Hello, everyone. And how is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? I hope you are having a marvelous day. I pray that your day went marvelous because it is the day that the Lord has made. And let us rejoice and be glad in it. I wanted to say it is Sunday. Sunday. It is Sunday, babies. And I want to say hello and welcome to all that are here, all that are here. Hello and welcome to day 7. I want to welcome, everyone here. Welcome to day 7 of 30 Days of Visibility. I am your girl, Sharice Johnson Moore, your publishing consultant and visibility coach. Today is our weekend reflection. And I want to take a moment to talk about something personal. How visibility has truly transformed my life, my business, and my ministry. Okay. So, this isn't just content creation for me. It's a calling, and it's stewardship. It's obedience. It is when you show up in a way God tells you to, and everything around you begins to shift. Let's talk about that for a moment. Let's talk about it for a moment. And what brought me to this point of wanting to come before you about visibility is visibility strengthened my confidence and my voice. Visibility strengthened my confidence and my voice. Before you can influence others, you must first train your own self, to be heard. And that is where consistency, consistent visibility helped me stop doubting myself. Okay. And I started with my visibility a while back when I first started when I first started a while ago. And I realized that I had to get over being camera shy. Had to get over being camera shy and being seen by others. And how I did that, I just one day I had this I'll say something came over me, and I decided I'm gonna go ahead and do a live. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this live. And my first video was me singing "His Eyes on the Sparrow," which you can go back and see from when I first started using YouTube. And it built me up. It taught me that my story and calling were needed. And I learned to speak with authority and not apologize. Not apologize. In my first video, I had no hair. Okay. I had just shaved all my hair off. I had just shaved all my hair off. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I don't even care, right? And I wasn't dressed up or nothing. I was not dressed. I wasn't in no fancy outfit. I wasn't in none of that, right? I just did this video, right? And it gave me my confidence grew as more and more as I started doing more videos. And with that, I say to anyone that wants to start doing videos, wants to start doing little short clips, things of that nature, regardless of what app they're on, do them. Do them. Hey, Harabez, how you doing? Hello, baby. I saw you alive. I saw you alive today. All right. I know I got to go back and watch that blessing that you gave. And I want to say thank you for coming in to my live today. And if y'all don't know about Harold Bates Thoughts, she is she's an author, she's an entrepreneur, she owns her own publishing business, and she does media, and she speaks positivity and motivation from her books, and she talks about her books, and um she talks about all the things that her books consist of, as being, a motivational speaker, and she does so many positive things in her conversations when she does her lives here on YouTube. So if y'all don't know who Harold Bates Thoughts is, Harold Bates, please put your YouTube link in the chat, please, so we can get you some viewers. Okay, because I don't see, that's one thing about me. I don't mind sharing the stage with other people. I'm not a hoarder. I love sharing my platform with others that are doing positive things, and they're helping other women and men come out from the darkness that they may have been dealing with when it comes to domestic violence, low self-esteem, being delivered from the wrong relationships, so forth and so forth and so forth. So, and she is doing a marvelous job at, on her visibility, career as a media personality. That's what we call us, media personalities. We might not be in no big studio or nothing like that, but we got a studio at home. Okay, right here, right? Y'all see my desk behind me. I'm in my kitchen, right? That's another thing that we have to get over as we're doing the live videos, is that do them where you at. If you got to clean the room up, clean up your room before you do the video. Clean up, have a nice spiffy, whether you're in your bedroom, make the bed. That's, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, right? If you are going to do video, live video, pre-recorded video, please have your surroundings as clean as possible. You in your office, I'm in my office / kitchen, and I try to keep everything as clean as possible. So in case I got to flip this camera around, y'all don't see a hot mess, okay? You might see some clean dishes in the kitchen, in the drainer or something, and things of that nature. But always keep your environment clean in case you want to move around with your camera. That's a word of advice, okay? Because the worst thing you do is open a camera and a whole bunch of stuff is behind you. Okay, a whole bunch of clothes piled up in the floor, room looking like a hot mess, and you be like, okay, to each their own. But when you doing live or pre-recorded video, please be neat and clean. Okay, neat and clean. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, number 2 is visibility connecting me with my God-assigned audience. Okay, when I first started doing live videos, that's what I started with. I started with a show called Morning Word and Worship, which was, at the time, I think was during the pandemic. And what I learned was I was in theology school at the time. I was in theology at the time. We had stopped going to class because of pandemic, but I still wanted to teach. I still wanted to practice giving the word, because in class, in my theology class, that was a part of our lesson where we were assigned each day. We had 4 students that would come to class on a certain day. I think it was on a Thursday, and one student, it was 4, it's one night out of every week that we had that class, someone would give a word. They would give a mini sermon and preach for 20 minutes. And so I wanted to keep up what I was doing. So I started doing, giving the word, preaching the word and things like that. And then God gave it to me, turn it into a program called Morning Word and Worship. Okay. So that's how I really got into always consecutively doing videos. If you look at my YouTube channel, if you look at back then, where that is what my premise of my conversation was about, is about the word, about giving words of encouragement, preaching the word, giving you the text and breaking the text down of what it really means. Okay. And that's how I kind of got started. When you show up, the right people find you. Okay. The ones who need what you carry. Everybody is carrying a different word because God has given them a different assignment with what they're supposed to tell, or how they're supposed to speak to the people and give them their words for that moment. No one's word is the same. Okay. I had gotten so used to really watching Bishop T.D. Jakes and watching Pastor Jamal Bryant and watching the women, Cheryl Brady and what's the other lady name? I can't think of her name. Juanita Bynum. And now, I keep up, I still watch them, but I realized that was my calling. I want to share this with you, that I have been singing since I was 7. I've been singing since I was 7 years old, and I ran from my calling. I ran from the calling that God had given me a voice. And because one time I was in the strip club, I'm always gonna be honest with y'all. Yeah, I used to be a stripper, okay? And in that I would sing while I would dance, okay? And one day someone told me that I could not sing. And that kind of really devastated my spirit. And I was like, when people come at you negatively about something that they can't do, I had to learn this in life, that you can rebuke words of negativity from you. You can rebuke words of negativity from you. And look, dust your feet off and keep it moving, okay? Because what you say and what God say, are two different things. That's the understanding of how I have a relationship with God. I have a relationship with God where I understand He gave me a gift, and it is up to me whether I use it or not. Okay? Your audience cannot connect with you. What they can't connect with, they can't see. Okay? So if you want to start your YouTube channel, you want to start your TikTok, you want to start your whatever, your motivational channel, however, start it. Don't wait on other people's validation. Please don't. Please, I'm just gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. Please do not sit and wait on other people to give you validation about something that God already told you to do. Don't do that to yourself, because you're gonna be waiting a long time. Okay? And visibility created alignment. My message met their needs. Where I was getting a lot of views. And then we'll get into some other things later. And it brought clients, it brought supporters, and it brought partnerships. Okay? And most importantly, it brought the people, not just numbers. I had to realize in my head that when I first started, I said, when I first started doing video and started doing the visibility and things like that for my business and stuff, I was worried about those things, the clients, the supporters, the partnerships. I was worried about that. And then God said, that ain't why I asked you to do that. That's not why I asked you to do that. I want you to get a word so the people can hear a message from me through you. That's what He told me. So I had to come off of that understanding of, I was more trying to, instead of me trying to get clients and supporters and partnership, I had to come back and I had to think about the people. not about what I could get out to people. I had to give the word for the people, to encourage them, to motivate them, to keep them their head scale high, because I knew and I know how it feels when you are in a place where you want to hear a word and you need to hear a word, but it's just not there. It's not coming from the right person, and you don't know who's listening to you. You may be giving the right word that they need to hear at the moment. Okay? You may be the person that changes their life from suicide tendencies. You may be the right person that hears from them that they can start their own business, that they can write their books, that they can do things that they didn't think in their mindset that they could do. And visibility opened doors. Visibility opened doors I didn't even know were possible. Okay, so I used to, like I said, I was a singer. I still am. I'm a singer, and I used to go to Pittsburgh all the time. Go to Pittsburgh, and I was introduced to this pastor by the name of Pastor Derek Tynes out of Pittsburgh. Through a friend of mine. She wanted me to go to church, and that's where she went to church at, and it's like 45 minutes away in Clairton, right? So I met the people and everything, and then before I knew it, I was in Pastor Derek's singing group, okay? And I found so much joy in that. I found so much joy in being in an audience, being in a place where I could really get an understanding of, getting a good understanding of, this is where I belong. This is where I need to be. This is how God asked me to be a minister through my singing, and showing up creates opportunity. So this relationship I formed with Pastor Derek Tynes took me from an unknown artist to a gospel artist. I'm just going to say this. Opportunities have a way of turning into open doors that you do not see by the right connections. You got to be connected to the right people. You got to be connected to the right people. You have to be connected to the right people, and it's so important that you connect with the right people. And I'm gonna say this: showing up creates opportunities that obedience unlocks. When I got into Pastor Derek, I became an international gospel artist. He wrote a song for me, and we did a live recording, and it is still being heard today. The song is Our God Reigns. And if you got time, go to YouTube and you can see the video of me singing this song, Our God Reigns, the Pastor Derek Tynes, okay? And it's on Spotify, all the streaming platforms for the song. It's number 7 on the album. It's called the title of the album is We Shall Overcome. That's the title of the album. We Shall Overcome by Pastor Derek Tynes. Okay, Pastor, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Tynes. We shall overcome. Title of my song is Our God Reigns. It's number 7. Number 7 on the on the list. Okay, number 7 on the list. Okay, so yes, And the thing is sometimes it is so important that we as people must have this thing of that you got to be in the right place at the right time, that even comes with podcast invitations. Since then, since starting this YouTube channel, I have started my own podcast. That opened me up to podcast invitations. It speaking engagements. I just did my first speaking engagement this October because I decided to step out on faith about something I wanted to do, and it was over. I felt like I was overdoing time. I was overdue to be having to done that. And what I realized was my timing ain't God's timing. My timing is not God's timing. Book collaborations. I have collaborated with Ardenae Garner, being a co-author in an anthology, since, doing this visibility thing. And then I stepped out on faith and being in a group called the Resilient Black Women. It's a clubhouse room where Miss Ardenae Garner, that's how I met her. We became, me and all the people in the room, we became really good friends. And it opened more opportunities. When your visibility opens opportunities, and I'm gonna tell you this: a closed mouth don't get fed. Closed mouth do not get fed. A closed mouth does not get fed. I just want to let y'all know that. Okay? And I wanted to have this understanding of it has to be that. It has to, be under understanding that let me see. I'm trying to hold on for a minute. So it's an understanding of that you never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. It even has media features. We did a program at the TV station in Pittsburgh. So I got up really early that morning, and this was before the live concert. And was it before or after? I think it was before. It was before. And we went to the TV station, and I met a black anchor. I even posted a picture of me sitting at the anchor desk. And that was, oh my God, was that? That was before I even started doing, I think that was even before. That was foreseen. It's like a prophecy. Like I'm sitting at this desk. I think this is before I even started doing lives or started creating my shows and stuff. And I think that was destined. That was destiny. Where I sat at the anchor desk, and I was like, yeah, I can see myself at an anchor desk. And, I took pictures and everything. And then before I knew it, that's how God laid the morning word and worship and all the other previous programs I have created. And ministry doors, places only God could have opened. Okay. I remember with Pastor Derek. See, I didn't watch this. Went with Pastor Derek. We went to the Thomas Dorsey Convention, which was in Baltimore, Maryland, right? And we was there, and we were able to sing. Our group was able to sing "We Shall Overcome," and his song it is a recomposer. He recomposed "We Shall Overcome." It's we shall overcome. We shall overcome. That song, okay? So he recomposed it, and he turns around and everyone in the like in different choirs, different members, different composers, different choir directors. It's like a big convention. Thomas Dorsey, he was Thomas Dorsey was the famous composer for His Eyes on the Sparrow. No, it was not that song. It was Precious Lord. That's what it was. Precious Lord. And they created a Thomas Dorsey convention where all the gospel greats come and sing. And I got to meet Richard Smallwood. I still got the book he autographed from my program. Okay. And that opened doors for me where I met the head lady of the Thomas Dorsey convention, and Pastor Derek said, all right, look, I want you to go and enroll in this class. And the class was to teach me how to sing, how to present myself singing to a big audience, right? And I was like, okay, Pastor. He said, go sign up for the class, because I really want you to go in that class. I want you to go in that class. You need that class. So, me being an obedient student, I went to the class, and I went in that class, and I learned that you don't sing with your head to the sky. You sing to the audience. You look at the people. I was taught so many things in that class. And each one of us that was in the class that each one of us in the class was like 20 of us in that class, right? And each one of us got a chance to sing in front of the whole congregation. Oh my God! I'm like, oh Jesus! Oh God! Oh Jesus! Right? I'm so excited! And my song, His Eyes on the Sparrow, and that was a song I sang, right? And I could not believe I had stood in front of all these people. It was like 500 people, 1,000 people in this room, and you got Richard Smallwood sitting there. You got some big time singers, and we had Miranda. I can't think of her name. She's from Pastor Bishop Jake's church. Miranda Curtis, I think that's her name. She came to sing, and guess else who I'm gonna tell you, Pastor Jamal Bryant. Pastor Jamal Bryant was the main speaker of this event. He was the main speaker of this event. And I'm telling you, I had my camera in it. I couldn't even hold my camera because the word was so good. I ain't had time. I had to shout. I had time in my life. I said, oh my God. And my thing is, I think my experience with Pastor Derek was the ultimate, because I would go everywhere where Pastor Derek would go. And I didn't mind, because he was leading me somewhere where God was taking me. And I had the time of my life. We went to California, we went to Georgia, we went to Florida. His brother has a church in Florida. And we went to so many places, and I met so many famous people while traveling with him. And that was an experience that gave me so much joy, to be in the presence of greatness, of people where we would meet dignitaries, people with status, and I was like, oh my God, I said, oh my God, and when we went to that convention, that set me off in a different mindset. They set off my creative stuff, because I wanted Pastor Derek. I thought I was looking at what Pastor Derek needed as far as visibility is concerned, right? And I kind of because Pittsburgh is 45 minutes away from me. And it takes me all day to get there it takes me like 3 hours to get there on the bus from where I live at, on the city bus. And being there on the whole weekend, I had time, and sometimes I couldn't go. And then Pastor Derek would come pick me up, he was like, I gotta come pick up my girl, And some things, changed over a period of time and stuff. And I want to say, never despise small beginnings. Thank you, Herbert. Thank you. I'm glad I bring joy to your heart when I sing His Eyes on the Sparrow. If you wait a few minutes, that'll be the closing song for today's live. Visibility deepened my ministry impact. The more I showed up, the more God trusted me with more. Yes. Visibility isn't about fame, it's about ministry. And that's what I learned. It wasn't about fame, it was about ministry. It's about giving the word, singing. Singing is my ministry. So when I showed up, my ministry showed up through my content. Okay. And with that, I even stepped out further 2 years ago and started writing music. And I had a few friends give me some tracks and things like that, and I'm realizing something. I need to use them tracks, okay? So that is something I put on my 2026 vision board, that I will create some songs this coming year. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Because after I'm gonna say this, after so many being out, being visible, having a business, and I had gotten to the point I had stepped away from what God asked me to do, and I started doing my own thing. And I realized when I started doing my own things did not work out for me. So what I realized, I had an epiphany moment in the conference I went to in October. And I had an epiphany moment, and God says, you got to go back to the beginning. You have to go back to the beginning of the way I asked you to do things, the way I asked you to do stuff. You were listening to me, and then you got away from me, what you were doing, and why you think it's not successful, because that ain't what I told you to do. And not what I told you to do. Excuse me. That was not what I told you to do. God told me straight up. I was sitting there in the conference, and I also was woken up in that conference when I got addressed by a visiting dignitary in the conference, and she addressed me as prophetess. Okay, I do not take lightly when people speak a word over me. That was one thing that really shook me in the conference. That she addressed me as prophetess. And I was like, oh my God. That's something you don't want to take lightly when someone addresses you in that manner. So when you serve people, you may never walk into a church. Okay? My ministry didn't start. My ministry started when I was 7. But I got away from what God was asking me to do, and now I had to get back on track. So this is why I'm starting over. I started over in my business. I'm starting over because I'm listening to the word of the Lord. And I had to get it back into what he asked me to do. So you become a light in digital spaces. I become a light in digital spaces. Excuse me for a minute. They say when you on camera, you're not supposed to drink nothing, do all this other stuff. But excuse me. So you never know who you will meet in a space. You'll never know who you'll come across when it is time for you to, when it is time for you to get into a mindset of you have to do this regardless if people like you or not. Okay? So, visibility increased my capacity to serve and be supportive. You can't pour if you don't know. You can't pour if people don't know you exist. You cannot pour from an empty cup either. Visibility fuels both impact and sustainability. So I had stepped away I had stepped away from doing lives. I had stepped away from doing any kind of anything because I'm be honest with y'all, I got depressed. I had become depressed, and I got distracted by being doing things that were not God did not call me to do, and it got me away from my assignment. That's why I had stopped doing the programs. I had stopped doing my lives. I had stopped doing. I had, I created other shows and stuff, but I realized, I realized at that conference, God spoke to me at the conference I did in October. I had a lot of epiphany moments, and God said, "You got to get back to your assignment. You got to go back to the way I asked you to do that first." So now this is why I'm doing this segment, and I also had to take time and pray. You had to take time and pray about what you're doing when it comes to, are you doing what God asked you to do? I'm just saying like that. Are you doing what God asked you to do? Are you on your assignment? Are you spending time with Him? Are you asking Him for permission to do things before you do it? Are you seeking His approval before you seek it from other people? Before you seek it from man? Okay, that is one thing I had to learn about what God had asked me to do. And it says that, when you become in this visible space, you can't show up one way and be living another. It don't work. It don't work like that. It don't. More visibility means more lives change. That means you got to watch the words that come out your mouth. And are you living the words that you are delivering to others? Okay? You can't say one thing over here and we live in a total different life over there. Okay? I had to ask for repentance about that, to be really clear. And then more lives touch means more people are blessed. I had to catch myself. Have you ever had to catch yourself from always being about other people's business instead of tending to your own? Yeah. I had to catch myself from being that person and was always, I love blessing others. I love giving them knowledge. So I had to go back to the way that God asked me to speak. I had to go back into the way He asked me to talk to others, encourage them, motivate them, give them words of knowledge, give them to pass on the knowledge that I have, and that means doing it God's way, not my way. And the more people blessed means more people who support. When you are obedient, you are blessing other people, and you can't get so stuck into trying to fit into other people's boxes. It's not going to work. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to work. And you got to be you. You got to be who God made you to be. And you can't be what others want you to be. You got to be who God wants you to be, not other people. Okay? And with that, support helps you continue the work full time. So, in this new season, I say with Sharice N. Johnson Moore LLC, we're going back to the beginning. We're going back to ministry. We're going back to what I was doing at first that pleased God, giving the word, preaching, singing, all these things, and not worrying about what the world want me to be. So, y'all just get ready, okay? Y'all get ready. All right. I wanted to let everyone know I greatly appreciate you coming in today, and we're gonna go over these 5 again. It says visibility strengthens your confidence and your voice when you are visible and you're doing what God asked you to do. Number 2, visibility connected me with my God assigned audience. I had gotten away from that, being connected to the right people. And number 3, visibility opened doors. Yes, visibility opened doors that I didn't even know were possible. Like the Thomas Dorsey trip, meeting Richard Smallwood, getting a word from Pastor Jamal Bryant, being in different spaces with different people. You never know who you might meet. Number 4, visibility deepens my ministry impact, which means we got to get back into the word. Got to get back into what God asked about. It's not about fame, it's about the ministry. And visibility, number 5, visibility increased my capacity to serve and be supportive. Okay, I also want to give this note. You have to listen to God when He tell you to back away from the people. When God give you a notion, an instinct about certain people, you have to back away, because you got to back away, because God is telling you this is not for you. You got to learn how to listen to that discernment. You got to listen to the discernment God telling you to do. And you can't be disobedient. You can't do it, because it's not going to work. And I found myself so busy trying to help other people, other people. I forgot all about my assignment. So, like I said, I'm having to go back to what God asked me to do. And that is to deliver the word, do my singing, preach the word, live what he want me to live, and be connected to the right people. Because everybody you connected to don't have no good intentions. Did I just say that? Everybody you connected to does not have good intentions. Okay? You have to use your discernment when it comes to other people. Okay, what is their motive? Why do you want to, why is it, why is this, why is that? I asked that question. And you know what? I have learned to ask God about people. I've learned to ask God about people, places, and things, and are they for me, and are they not for me? And I have been listening for a minute. I've been listening ever so diligently since leaving that conference. And a lot of times, God has revealed to me what is up with the people, places, or things. God has shown me about the people, places, and things. And He has revealed some more deeper stuff with me when it comes to the people. Especially the people, places, and things. I'm going to tell you that I had to step away. I had to step away because the intentions is not right. And like I said, I was so busy supporting other people, I forgot all about my assignment. So that is what I'm doing. I'm getting back into what God asked me to do. So, that's it. That's it. Okay. I want to let y'all know that you got an assignment. God gave you an assignment. Please stay on your assignment and don't be disobedient by not listening. Because you're running from a calling. You're running from a calling. You're running from the assignment God has given you. And you can't run but so long. Okay? I got scared. I got I don't know. Is this for me? I was asking the questions. I was asking my carnal self. See, that's the problem. I was asking my carnal self. I was not talking to the Heavenly Father. Okay? And a lot of what we are doing, we are running from our assignments. We are running. We running. Oh well, I'll go join this, and I'll do this, and I'll spend my money over here, and I'll do this, and I'll join this group, and I'll join this, and be in this. And look, did you ask God first? Did you ask God? Did you consult with Him? Did you come and sit down, turn off the TV, turn off cell phone, turn off the computer, and spend time with God and sit there and say, God, now what do I do next? Or what do I do about this situation here? Come on now. You got to start consulting God first before you jump in and, oh, I want you to be a part of this anthology. I want you to be a part of this group. Look, what is this? Look, I'm a deep diver. I have learned the hard way of jumping in feet first and ain't asked not no question about what I was getting into. Okay, now you can't shut me up for asking a question before I spend $1. Because I have learned when I have stepped into things. I know. I wasn't gonna go here, but I'm being led by the Holy Spirit right now. I have learned that when you don't ask questions, that's when you get taken advantage of. When you do not ask questions, you will be taken advantage of. And find out the information about stuff before you say yes. Find out what's it gonna cost me. Everything costs. Everything comes with a cost. But you have to consult with God. And when you consult with Him, a lot of stuff you can avoid yourself getting in debt to. Come on. When you consult with God, you have this thing of a lot of things you can avoid yourself getting in debt to. Getting in debt. Oh yeah. They want me to pay $785 for to be in this anthology. Okay, well, what do I get? Do I get my name on the cover? Do I get my name on this? Oh, we're gonna talk about anthologies too. I found out some stuff and I want to share with you. That'll be another segment for another day. But ask questions. Ask questions. Okay? Ask some questions, okay? For y'all just hop up and say, yeah, I want to be this and I'm gonna spend all this, okay? Because a lot of things you can avoid if you turn around and listen to God. And if God say that ain't for you, keep it moving. You know, and this is another. Don't let people pressure you in joining everything that's thrown at your table. Do not fall into letting somebody pressure you into doing stuff that they trying to lay at your table. Everything is not meant for you to eat. Everything that's set at that table, they come in with these different plates. A plate about an anthology, plate about investing in sponsorship, this or that. Come on, let's go on this trip. If you got a tiny whiff or something ain't right, oh, God trying to talk to you. God trying to talk to you. He's trying to keep you out of the midst of being in a world of trouble when He know you can avoid these things if you listen to me. Okay? So, I want to just say that is my word for the night. I'm getting back. I'm here. I'm back. Okay? I'm back. Because like I said, I had stepped away from my assignment. And I'm tired of running. I got to do what God asked me to do. Okay. Okay, family. If this program blessed you, if the word blessed you, if this teaching has blessed you, I invite you to sow into this work. Okay. I invite you to sow into this work. I want to invite you into this work. Okay, your support helps me continue creating faith-filled content, resources, and programs that transform lives transform lives. I'm here to transform. I'm here to make you think. I'm here to make you come on. We gotta think. We gotta think. We gotta think. No amount is too small. No amount is too small, and every seed helps this platform. Helps this platform. It helps this platform to grow. Right. So I have put up. Okay, wait a minute. I have put up this. It is support. It is also in the chat. It is also in the chat. The support for the broadcast, support for this word, support for this business, support for this ministry, support for this program I have given you this evening. And it helps. It helps with a lot of things, and it helps to grow. It helps the platform to grow. Okay, so you can also give through Cash App. Cash App. You can give through PayPal, and you can also give through Stripe. I don't have Stripes. Thing up here. Hold up. Check. Let me see if it's in the chat. Put it in the chat. Okay, I got PayPal and what's the name, but I didn't put Stripe in here. Okay, I'll do that next time, but you can give through Cash App and PayPal, okay? I want to say it has been an honor and a privilege to come before you today, and I want to say, why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? And why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant prayer, no, is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. I dedicate that song to my friends, Harold Thoughts, and her parents, and her daughter, and the grandchildren, and all that she does, because God is always watching out over you, baby. Okay? And I want to say, I thank you so much. This has been day 7 of 30 days of visibility. Take this reflection into your weekend. Think about all the things about how you showing up can transform your life, your purpose, and your ministry. And tell me in the comments what blessing came into your life simply because you decided to show up. Tell me in the comments what blessing came into your life simply because you decided to show up. Okay? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and support the platform if it's on your heart to do so. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 8. Okay, everybody? All right? Sharice Johnson Moore. Everyone have a blessed evening. Bye, babies.